I have been dreaming about making the Cinderella live-action ball gown for about 9 years now, which is about how long the movie's been out. And I have finally collected enough secondhand and thrifted fabric to make that dream come true. But my dream of having all the underthings coming out in one video has not come true because it was just way too long. So I cut it in half. As much as I would like to just dive right in and get started on the petticoat, we first have to do some foundation layers. I am starting with the corset, and then we have my very strong desire to avoid making a hoop skirt. I just don't want to, and I'm in charge of this, so I'm not gonna do that. So how I'm gonna make the shape is with my old hoop skirt, hopefully, so I don't have to buy anything new, and a bum pad. That'll make more of the silhouette that I want at the back without making a whole hoop skirt. For the corset, I have Ariana Black's Dolores pattern. Apparently her website shut down, so I have an old copy of it. Good luck. If you want to make one too. Oh good, my bird assistants are here. I'm sure they'll help me sew. Right guys? Guys? I started by cutting the strength layer of non-stretch denim. I marked the stitching line and just eyeballed some seam allowance, which won't be a problem unless I forget and cut along the pattern. Oh. Moving on. I didn't add seam allowance to the top or bottom because I'll be finishing the edges with bias tape. Also, I did a mock-up and modified the pattern a bit. I marked the waistline in a non-heat erasable pen, thinking ahead this time. Since this is a Cinderella corset, I went with Cinderella fabric. Do you like my pattern weight? She had some surgery, but she's fine now. I cut out the pattern pieces again and carefully pinned along the stitching lines, which made it very clear where I needed the seams to go. It probably would have been easier to just measure out the seam allowances. Anyway, I stitched directly on that line for the outside and for the lining. I watched a video recently where it said instead of doing the normal pressing seams open on corsets, you should press them to one side for the outside and the other side for the inside, because otherwise the entire tension of the whole garment is just on this one little bitty seam. So I'm gonna do that. Also, I used a heat erasable pen on this one, so you'll see it disappear, because this is the pretty outside fabric. See? Unless you take it outside in the snow, which it will come back. I don't know who would cosplay outside in the snow. That would be a crazy thing to do. This one is not done in a heat erasable pen, except for this. That one was. That was an accident. I still wanted that line there. This is twill tape, which is very strong, and I'm going to put this as the waist tape. Which is why I marked this one in not heat erasable pen, because I still need this mark. And then moved the pins to the other side so I could stitch in the ditch to sew them down. Patrick asked me to patch his jeans again, and you'd think he would have learned after last time. Yes, that is a rubber ducky. I placed the corset halves right sides together so I could pin and stitch the back seam where the grommets will go. After flipping it right side out, I top stitched the boning channels. I cut some coordinating blue bias tape and sewed it to the right side of the top of the corset. I thought bias tape made from the Cinderella fabric would be a little too chaotic. I folded the edge over twice, covering all the raw edges, and hand stitched it to the lining. And I took a break to finish this Christmas gift before the holiday and to actually order the boning. And my mother-in-law gave me a bird buddy for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. We are back, and it is now after Christmas, which means I get to sew whatever I feel like working on now, which is excellent. So I am going to get started by boning the corset. Also, it is super foggy out today. I found metallic thread at the secondhand craft shop and an expanding sewing gauge for $125. Best shop ever. Yay! Time to add the boning. I used a mix of flat steel and spiral steel boning for the second time ever and closed up the bottom with the rest of the bias tape. Ta-da! Just kidding. All that's left to do is to put in the grommets, but I have other stuff I need to do today, so I can't do that right now. I also added a bit of interfacing where the grommets are going to go, which was supposed to be on the inside, but clearly that did not happen. My ride is running about an hour late, so I am going to make a quick pair of princess bloomers. I used my favorite pajama pants pattern to make these bloomers from a purple polka dot thrifted sheet. Yay for upcycling! They are not as long as my pajama pants though. I sewed lace trim to the bottom edge and elastic cuffs above that. I stitched them up like regular non-princess pants and added elastic at the top. Princess bloomer's done, and I really do have to go now, so see ya! The next day, I grabbed my gauge and marked each side for grommets.
Just want to preface this by saying I'm really not good at lining these things up, so adjust your expectations.
Slightly crooked grommets are better than no grommets, right? I did actually feel like lacing the corset today, and it fits pretty well. A little bit of wrinkling around the hips. And the bloomers, they look a little silly with the purple polka dots, but it made me smile, so, you know, it's fine. I am pretty happy with this. So next I'm going to start the bum pad, and then I get to start the petticoat. I based this off Simplicity 8162, except I don't actually have that pattern. I just estimated from a picture.
Alright, I'm pretty sure the pattern that I copied is going to say to cut a giant ruffle out of the same fabric and ruffle it and then stitch it in, but I have this. This is just like a pre-ruffled ruffle, so I'm just going to stitch this on the outside. It's not an exact color match, but then I don't have to ruffle a ton of ruffles, so.
I top stitched the ruffle along the edge and got to stuffing the chambers. I sewed the fake butt to a waist tape and stitched the skirt hooks on. Do you see what's wrong with this shot? And no, it's not how off-center it is.
Wow, okay, so on my wedding skirt video, I sewed one of these on backwards, and I did it again.
That is not quite what I meant to do there.
No. Okay, it is now pointing the right direction, which means this bum pad is done.
I'm putting the Dolores corset patterns away, and I realized there's a boning channel there that I definitely did not put in, which is why I'm having a bit of a wrinkle there, but maybe next time. Here is a quick reveal of the corset and bloomers, but the full petticoat video is coming soon, so here's a quick preview. Subscribe to see the whole thing because oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.